everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Green Lantern New 52 Issue 1 Comic Review. Now, as you know, like other DC titles, Green Lantern was a part of the first wave of the New 52. Now, much like Batman, and much like with other related DC stuff, it did act like a continuation from the original continuity. I think they should have stayed with a new path and not rely on the old one. I do have a bit of a theory that they were most likely going to go to the storyline, but changed it. Now, the cover you mainly have Sinestro in his Green Lantern outfit, and let's get on the story. It starts off mainly with Green Lantern, known as Sinestro, saying the Green Lantern oath, saying, "In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's light." And so the Guardians point out is that they are mainly gonna choose him to be redeemed, and even point out that the ring chose him, and that this is his chance at redemption, despite the fact of what he's done. So he points out that, that redemption. I need no redemption. What I do for the good of the universe, something you lost sight of thousands of years ago. No, but we expect you to do what we order you to do, Sinestro. Protect your sector. You are free to go. And he looks at the Lantern Ring, the power battery, and comes up with an idea. I get it, they expect him to try and be a Green Lantern again, but keep in mind that no one can be redeemed. And what's interesting is Gannett pretty much voices disagreement with it, and even points out that Sinestro is dangerous, and that he created his own army. And you can tell Gannett's right, and that given the fact that Hal Jordan killed Krona for a good reason, he was mainly doing his job. So this causes the other Guardians to turn on Gannett, and turn him back to what he originally was. So meanwhile, you've got Hal Jordan talking with his landlord, and basically wanting his rent, but no checks in that. But suddenly Hal looks out of his window and sees that a woman is about to be assaulted. And he's like, "What are you doing? Call 911. Tell them to meet me across the street." And so he jumps through like an action hero and breaks down the window and beats up the guy, which turns out to be an actor for a film. Now, I can understand that Hal would pretty much jump the gun, and given the fact it was kind of obvious. So, Hal mainly gets bailed out by Carol, and turns out that Hal is welcome back at Ferris Airlines, but he can't have his job as a pilot due to so many things that have happened. But since the fact that only Carol knows he's a Green Lantern, they can't reveal it just yet. And she points out that she hasn't been wearing her sapphire ring, and that despite being given to her. And Hal says, "What are you doing tonight?" And we're introduced to Korugar, where Sinestro is investigating on his planet, and turns out his once followers have enslaved the planet. And what's interesting is that as soon as Sinestro looks, one of the Sinestro Corp Lanterns say, "Die, Lantern! I will skin you! Sinestro, we haven't been awaiting your return. What are you wearing?" And he points out that, he's now... Korugar was meant to be protected, not enslaved. And so he tries to report to Aquilo, but Sinestro mainly kills off one of the Sinestro officers, and his ring flies off, and Sinestro destroys it and mainly flies off. So we're introduced to at a restaurant where Carol mainly drove Hal back to the restaurant and pretty much asks for a simple thing about saying, my credit card is short. I haven't owned a car since I got the ring. That's why I asked you to pick me up tonight. And yeah, this is kind of a dick move. I get how probably think Carol wouldn't get like this, but keep in mind that in a relationship, you can't just ask someone for selfish means. And Hal mainly goes after her, and he assumes that Carol was expecting a proposal, but mainly says that you've been off planet, and yet you are out of touch with everyone. So Carol leaves, and Hal points out that, she drove him. So the thunderstorm cracks. We see Hal now pretty much with no travel, no money and everything, and even evicted from his house. And so you've got Sinestro showing up saying, Jordan, if you want your ring back, you'll do everything I say. And yeah, this is the story. So, what I think it's not a bad first issue, but I do feel secretly inside that they should have gone with a new continuity. Everything acts like it's a continuation, even though it shouldn't be. I think this is why DC Rebirth and other stories have been fixing what the New 52 broke. By the end of it, it's still an okay story, so it deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.